Okay, hey guys, wanted to talk to you a little bit about asset allocation today. This goes along with our investing part of our curriculum and how you should invest your money. And it's really important to understand that based on your age and your life circumstances, you may want to be investing your money a little bit differently depending on what age that is. And it's going to change over time from when you're younger, like me, or when you're older, like say Mr. Waller next door. Just joking, Mr. Waller, seriously. All right, but I got two circle graphs here. One represents somebody who's in their 30s. The other one over here represents somebody who's in their 60s. And the important thing here is you can see that the colors have changed a little bit. Some have gotten bigger and some have gotten smaller between those two different age ranges. So somebody in their 30s, they're going to want to make sure they're investing their money to try to make more money, to grow that money. They have time to do that because they have plenty of time before they retire, probably another 30, 35 years before they retire. So they have plenty of time to make money and to maybe lose some money investing, but hopefully make a lot of money investing also. In this case, this person's going to keep this amount in blue in cash. So that's money they have in a savings account or a checking account. And that kind of makes sense in your 30s. You know, you do have to pay bills, you do have expenses, vacations you want to take with your family, things like that. So you want to have some cash saved up to pay for those things, new cars, sending your kids to school, stuff like that. So some of that money is going to be in cash. A lot of that money is starting to be invested in mutual funds. That's the red area here. And remember, mutual funds is kind of a way to get involved in the stock market, get a pretty healthy return, usually between 8 to 10% return on your money, which is really good. It's still relatively liquid. You can always sell those mutual funds if you need to, get your money out of those mutual funds if you need to. You might not get all of it out, but at least you can get some of it out. So mutual funds are still a relatively safe investment as far as stock goes. And again, hopefully you're getting a little better return than obviously just letting your money sit in a bank as cash. Okay. A little smaller area here is the green, the smallest of all the areas on this circle graph, and that's for stocks. Again, stocks, investing in individual stocks can be a little bit risky at times, and depending on how the stock market's doing, and on any given day or week or month, the stock market may be up or down, and in that case, your stock may also be up or down. It just really depends. Sometimes the companies you invest in don't do well over a long period of time, and then you lose all that money in your stock investment. So it's a little bit riskier. And that's why we're not dedicating quite as much of our investment money to stocks right now. Okay? Where we are putting a big chunk of our money here is the white area, which is government bonds. All right, these are U.S. savings bonds. They're usually, again, have a relatively low interest rate, so the return's not going to be really high, but a very safe investment in most cases. You're going to get your money out of those, and usually at a 1 to 2% interest rate. And the only problem with government bonds is that you got to hold on to them for quite a while. But you are young, so you have time to hold on to them. So that's not that big a deal. So that's why that money's in government bonds, safe investment, and it's an investment you can let sit over time for a while and earn that interest. Okay? So this is a guy or girl in their 30s. Now let's move to somebody who's in their 60s. Okay? And again, I want you to kind of see the difference as far as allocation goes, asset allocation. There's more money being put into cash. There's more money being put into mutual funds. Less money in government bonds. No money in stocks. Actually, we switched that to CDs. And let's talk about why. First of all, you want to have a lot of cash on hand when you are in your 60s and getting older. Because you may have expenses, again, different expenses. A lot of times those are medical expenses that you have to take care of. So you want to have cash on hand to help cover that if your insurance can't cover it. There may be also other reasons why you want cash. This might be at the point of your life where you want to take trips and travel, things like that. You want to have cash on hand to be able to do that. So cash has grown. That's money sitting in a savings or checking account. Okay. The other area that has really grown in the 60s is, compared to the 30s, is mutual funds, the red area here. Okay? We're putting a lot of money into mutual funds, in fact more money, because in your 60s you usually retire, but you still need income. You might get money from Social Security, Hopefully, we all will, but that's not a guarantee. That's the money you get from the government. But for most of us, that's not going to be enough to kind of live the lifestyle that we're used to living. It's not going to be as much money as you used to make working your job. So this income from mutual funds can help offset that, and it's still a relatively safe investment as far as the stock market goes. Most mutual funds do make money, usually not as much as individual stocks, but again, you'll have a pretty healthy income and a relatively safe investment. If you need to get that money out, you could if you needed to. Okay? We dropped individual stocks altogether, and that kind of makes sense. That's the riskiest. You're in your 60s. You maybe want to make sure that you have money. You don't want to lose money. Again, you're not working, so you can't count on making that money up through your job. So it's best to maybe at that point maybe start weaning yourself out of the stock market and putting it into a little more safer investments. Okay? And we're going to do that by putting it in CDs. Remember, CDs are certificates of deposits. They're time-based, anywhere from a year to 5 years. Now, again, you are getting older, so you probably don't want to get a 10 or 15-year CD. But a 1 to 5 year CD will earn you almost 2% interest on that investment. And that's, again, a little extra income for you to make up for the fact that you're not working anymore. Okay? And again, that's guaranteed. It's not like a mutual fund that's going to fluctuate up and down. You're going to get that interest rate whenever you buy into it with the CD. Okay? The last area here is government bonds. Again, if you compare that to the 30s, it was much bigger. Now it's become much smaller. That's probably because you're starting to cash those government bonds in that you bought clear back here, and you're using that as part of your income too as you retire. So these are getting cashed in as opposed to bought now, and that's helping you with your income during retirement. Okay? So I want you to think about asset allocation, just the idea that you invest differently depending on your age. You know, even before you're 30, you're going to invest differently. Probably most people in between 18 and 30, they're going to have a lot of money in cash because they're not doing much investing yet. They're just getting their first jobs. They don't have a lot of money to invest, that kind of thing. So a lot of their money is going to be in cash or in a checking and savings account, things like that. So it varies all the time. And individually, it'll change too. Some people have different goals. Some people want to take more risk with their money. They want to take more chances. Some people don't want to take a lot of chances, and that's going to affect how they're investing at these two ages too. But for the most part, this would be kind of a general asset allocation for people in their 30s, people in their 60s. Hopefully that makes good sense to you, and I hope you have a really good night. Bye.